Hello there. My name is Brett Klein, Solution Innovation Architect, and today we're going to talk about the Solution Installation Wizard, a native app that helps you securely distribute any Snowflake native code to your consumers, all on Snowflake. If you've ever collaborated with another organization and had to hand over unversioned scripts over email, or shared a Git repository with potentially unclear directions, this solution fully solves that. Have you ever had a partner organization question the security of the code you were handing them, wishing for some third-party security review? This solution solves that as well. The Solution Installation Wizard facilitates the deployment of packaged code, such as native apps, Streamlit UIs, etc., safely into a consumer environment using a self-service Snowflake native app. This native app can be deployed via private listings or publicly via the Snowflake Marketplace. Some examples include deploying a native app that a partner owns and lists back to you, deploying a Streamlit app that runs with the consumer's local roles, sharing scripts, procedures, functions, or container definitions that assist a consumer in getting set up with logic that you wish to provide. Let's deploy the app into our Snowflake environment. First, navigate to the repo, copy the first provider setup script, paste it into Snowsight SQL worksheet, and run all. This deploys all the local provider objects that we need. After that, copy and paste the second demo configuration worksheet into the same SQL worksheet, and then run all. This deploys the example scripts. Finally, copy and paste the third package setup script into the same SQL worksheet and run all. This creates the native app and installs it locally. Now our application should be ready to explore. Return to Snowsight, set your session rule to Solution Installation Wizard role, and navigate to Data Products and select Apps from the left side menu. Now open the Solution Installation Wizard app. Let's walk through the application as a consumer. This is what your partners will see when they use the app. On this page, we see tiles with 3 solutions. The tiles are driven dynamically by each workflow, with workflow description in the scripts table. Let's use Hello World app as our example. Let's click Launch Deployment. We are immediately taken to the first step of the workflow. This step is called App Setup, has a description of initial select, and has directions to copy, paste, run the code in the code block. This is what happens when auto-run is set to false. It is most useful for code that needs to be owned by the consumer. Note that the code block has a quick copy button on the upper right. Let's hit Next. We are now on step 2, called App Setup 2, with a description of second select. This time, it is a bit different. We can see an expander that says See Code. If we click it, we see the content of the script, but no directions to copy, paste, and run. Instead, this step has auto-run enabled with code visible. That means that the app itself will run the script, so objects will be owned by the app and is limited by the app's permissions. This is useful for when you want to tell the consumer what code you're going to run, but want to automate it for them. Let's hit Next. On this third and final page, called App Setup 3, with a description of third select, we do not see any code at all, and instead just have a run button. The script that will run is entirely owned by the app and is never revealed to the user. This is useful for proprietary code that you want to deploy and make available, like a store procedure. Again, it will be limited by the app's permissions, so the consumer is safe and has control over what they let the app do. If we hit Finish, it will take us back to the home page. The number of pages is dynamically driven by the number of steps in the script table for the chosen workflow. Now let's return to Snowsight by hitting the Back button in Streamlit at the top left. Let's select Data on the left side and select Solution Installation Wizard package in the list. This is an app package, an object that holds everything that gets packaged into a native app. Let's expand the admin schema, expand tables, and select Placeholder Definition. Finally, select Data Preview, set a warehouse if not already set, and take a moment to inspect the data and the columns. This table is where we define strings to be dynamically replaced during script parsing. As an example, partner abbrev gets replaced with sftest1 for consumer BVK East 11. This lets us insert consumer-specific values for things like parameters, object names, and more. The provider account identifier table is simply a quick reference to the original provider account, which can come in handy in scripts. It's completely optional to use. Moving on to the script table, select it. Let's check out the data preview. This table defines the workflows included in the app. Each script has an associated workflow and workflow description, which should be the same value for every script in a workflow. It has a name, an order, whether or not to present a run button, whether or not the code is visible to the consumer, a description, and the script text itself. In general, you can customize any part of the solution. Feel free to explore the code and change the README, Streamlit styling, app name, and more. One thing to note is that you will need to create a new version or patch to deploy any changes to consumers. This is because the scripts get inserted into the app's setup script automatically, allowing Snowflake Security Scan to review the scripts for safety. Code cannot be directly shared without being instantiated in the setup script due to risks involving dynamic code, and will lead to rejection by the security scan. By inserting the scripts into the setup script, we protect the consumer through the security scan and protect the provider through ensuring that a data change can't break the app for their consumers. We have now explored how the Solution Installation Wizard can help providers distribute any Snowflake native code in a versioned, secure, safe, and convenient way to consumers. I hope you found it helpful, and if you're interested in assistance customizing your own Solution Installation Wizard, reach out to your sales team. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and subscribe for more Snowflake developer content. Have a great day.